I'll be testing these shift solenoids. They belong to Toyota vehicles. These ones have one pin only. They don't have two pins. The ones that have two pins, they have a different way to be tested, totally different. So Toyota and Lexus, they all the same. So let's get started. Alright, a little bit closer here. Two small wires, I'm gonna be using them, and the three shift solenoids that I'm gonna be testing here, and my multimeter, as you can see, and a 12-volt battery. Make sure the battery is well charged, and that's all we're gonna need. Alright, so I have put my multimeter and ohms right there, ohms. Alright, this is the first one here I'm gonna be testing, and I'm gonna be measuring the resistance. If I get between 11 and 15 ohms, this one should be passing the first test, because there are two tests to do on these solenoids from Toyota vehicles with one pin. Remember, one pin here. Alright, this one is the one that I'm gonna be testing first. Now, this is the thing with these shift solenoids. They have to pass two tests. If it passes one but it doesn't pass the other one, then this shift solenoid is not good. It has to pass both tests for this shift solenoid to be in good condition. So let's see. If I get between 11 and 15 ohms, this shift solenoid should be passing the first test. I would suggest you to use gloves, because just in case, because of the battery might shock you, so be careful. The multimeter lead goes on the pin here, and the negative multimeter lead goes on this bracket here on the body. Let's see, and there it goes, 13.4 ohms. So this shift solenoid has passed this test. So let's go to the next test. The elevator clips here, negative on the battery, positive here on the battery. This one is gonna be making contact with the bracket here, the bracket of the shift solenoid, and the positive here is gonna be making contact with the pin here inside. If this solenoid is in good condition, because this is the second test and the last test, and if it actuates here, you will hear a click, because the solenoid is actuating. If it's good. If it's not good, it will stay like that. It will not do anything. If it does a small click, but a very small click, is weak and it's time to be replaced too. Sometimes it gives problems once they are weak. So they don't have to be totally damaged for these shift solenoids to be to give you problems. So let's see. Right there. As you can see on the pin, I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna get as close as I can to the camera, so in case if it clicks, if it actuates. Now it did it, but very, very weak. Very, very weak. It did just a little bit, almost nothing. Now if you do this a second time, it will not click at all. It will not click at all. Why? Because it's not being pressure loaded. If you want this thing to click again, what you gotta do is disconnect it completely and wait for about 1 minute or 2 minutes, whatever. 2 minutes most likely. You have to completely disconnect it. So let's see this time again, the positive and the pin. I'm gonna try a second time. Nothing basically, nothing. This is a different one. This is the one that I just tested, and I'm gonna be testing this one right now. Let's see this one. Hopefully the camera heard the click, and I'm gonna do it a second time and you will hear almost nothing or nothing. See, nothing. Why? Because I'm doing it a second time, because it's not being pressure loaded. So if I completely disconnect it and I wait about at least 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes, then it will click again. Remember, this is the first test on this one. Don't know if it will pass the multimeter test, but let's try it again. Let's see if it clicks again. Hopefully you could hear the click that is actuating inside, the plunger inside. So this solenoid has passed this test. The other one did not pass the last one, this one here. So this one is damaged. So I already disconnected, and see, and wait some time. You don't have to wait too long, maybe 20 seconds after you disconnect it. Let's see. It didn't click. I gotta put it back right there and wait a little bit longer probably for this shift solenoid to click again, because it's not being pressure loaded. Let's see if it clicks. Let's see if it does. Hopefully you guys heard the click. It's actuating. So this one has passed this test. Let's I'm gonna disconnect this. Let's see if it passes the multimeter test. Ohms right there. Now the positive multimeter lead to the pin right there. And this one, let's see, I've got to make sure the camera is seeing the multimeter. Let's see, right there. All right there, 13.1 volt, ohms, 13 ohms. So this solenoid is good. It has passed the test with no problem. 12.9, doesn't matter, between 11 and 15 ohms, that should be fine. So this solenoid has passed the test, and this shift solenoid is good. Remember, 1 pin shift solenoids. Alright, another very important thing to mention is if you test this shift solenoid while listening to the transmission connected with the electrical connector here, normally they will click every time you apply 12 volt. It will be different because they are connected to the transmission. So that's how they work. No matter how many times you will apply 12 volt, they will click. They will click every time if they pass the test, of course. If it's bad, it will not click. But that's how they work. But once they are out of that transmission, you have to do it the same way I did it here. Once you apply 12 volt, and if it passes that test, it will click. And you try to do it a second time, it will not click. And you have to completely disconnect and wait at least 30 seconds. To be safe, just wait 1 minute, 2 minutes. I didn't wait that long, but so that's how they work. Alright, and this is how you test the shift solenoids on Toyota and Lexus vehicles. They all the same. If they are 1 pin, that they have the same way to be tested. As I said, 2 pins will be different way to test it. And if you think this video was helpful, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.